What's up, Three-Eyed Ravens? Episode 2 of Raven Reviews. I am Headless and Dark. This is my co-host and friend, Ryan Milky. What is up, my good buddy?
I'm good. How are you? We are here for the second time tonight. The first time on the Raven Reviews, so let's do it.
Absolutely. Episode 3 of The Last of Us. First thoughts, what do you think?
Interesting, deep, storytelling driven, just HBO at its best.
Yeah, it's interesting because when I started the episode, I was like, okay, so I kind of knew where we were going because I got to this point in the game last week when I was streaming that. And I was like, okay, so we're gonna meet Bill, and man, it totally they added so much more depth to the characters, and I really enjoyed it. I was a little confused at first because I'm like, wait, who's this other guy? Like, because I know what happens in the game, but I haven't got to that point yet. But I thought it was cool to see kind of like the backstory of them, and you get to see, just how a normal person, who's kind of been living by himself, is kind of gotten through this apocalypse for the last 15, 20 years, and I thought it was really cool. I'm glad we got to start off with Joel and Ellie. We kind of picked up where we left off, and they kind of just switched over. And I thought it was a fun episode. I mean, I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I just think that the storytelling right now in this show is so good, But
Yep, I completely agree with you and completely stand with you on every statement that you just said. This show is standing up to all expectations, and it's delivering even further than some people are expecting. Yeah. Like tonight's storyline was just immense. It was superbly well told. It was delicate, and it was powerful. It really, really was. I can't fault it, to be honest.
And what's really amazing is, and this is just a credit to the showrunners and also the actors. We do get Joel and Ellie from was about 20 minutes or so, 15 to 20 minutes of it, and the rest of it was just those two, and it was about 55 minutes worth. And it, like I said, it kind of went through 15 years or so, and it didn't feel like it was rushed, which is amazing in a show like this. They that they can do that. And again, I think it's just it's just a shout out to both of those actors. I thought they did a great job. I know I recognize both of them. I can't remember their names at the top of my head right now, but I think they did a fantastic job. And so that's just, a big shout out to HBO and the directors and the actors. I thought that was awesome.
We had Murray Bartlett play Frank and Nick Offerman play Bill.
Nick Offerman. Yep.
We just saw that we've got a lot of people in the chat tonight, so we want to make sure we say hi to everybody, and I hope everybody's having a good weekend.
Yes, PDX is in the house. Welcome. Baby Ice, welcome back to our second live. Christina Payne, welcome. Anthony Blaze, Sup Raven Reviews.
Remember, guys, we are streaming on both our channels, so please go over to both channels and make sure you hit that like button. And just hang out in the chat. All the chat will be synced over to us anyway, so we'll be able to tell when you talk. So let's get to this. It was a very, very deep episode. It was full of detail. I loved how at the beginning of it we how it all escalated into the past. We're still getting that every single week. We're getting callbacks, which I'm loving. They haven't abandoned that, because don't forget, we've only got 9 episodes, and for us to get what we got tonight when we only have 9 episodes,
right,
just shows how much they've got control of what they're doing.
Right. And when you get an episode like this where it doesn't really go too much through the game, that's why I wonder are we really going to get the entire game, video game 1, the first one, in the full first season, or are they going to break it up?
I believe we'll get the full game.
You think so? Okay. Because when you get an episode like this, it's kind of like you're trying to slow things down a little bit, because there's only so much content too. And again, if they add stuff like this that makes the story even better, that's really, I mean, that's why it's so good. So far through 3 episodes, I mean, just another 10 out of 10 for me. I mean, even though there's not the clickers and it's just it's a different, different feeling this episode. I know somebody in the chat, I think it was PDX, and he had mentioned when they died, it made him really sad. I mean, I was the same. I was like, man, I'm like, I kind of had a feeling just because in the game you don't really see the other guy, so I had a feeling that something was going to happen. But man, when they both went out, I was like, damn. So, but you want to just go through the episode here?
Sure.
and we do have a nice comment here. Yes, he switched his hat to the House Stark. All right, so we start off with the episode. So it kind of starts with Joel here at the river. He's kind of cleaning his hands off, and he's kind of looking down at his hand, and he's got these scars or whatnot, and he's building up like a little tower of rocks. What do you think? What do you think that symbolized?
I have no idea. It was super strange. I was like, what's he doing? I kind of got Mandalorian vibes for a couple of minutes. If I'm honest.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what I got out of it, in chat, you can let us know if you agree. I guess what I got out of this was like it was almost like a tombstone like for Tess. I think that's kind of what they were playing on here. At least that's the way I looked at it. The way he was kind of stacking them, So I don't know. I guess that chat, you can let us know in the comments if you agree, or do you think the stacking of the stones meant something different?
No, you're right. It does. It correlates straight from what we saw in the last episode. So yeah,
good catch. And then we get a scene with Ellie and Joel. He's like eating a little bit of food or chicken or whatever he ended up having. He tosses it over. He's still really, really, really cold to her, and to me it seems like he just doesn't want to do this. He wants because remember last episode he wanted to go back, and Tess is the one who's like, I'm staying, and then we found out why, and it's like I still feel like he is what's the word I'm looking for? He's just hesitant to still trust her. He even asked her in the episode to show him his arm or her arm again, just to kind of confirm that she still wasn't turning,
Mm-hmm.
So it's an interesting dynamic between the two of them still at this point. And we do see a little change toward the end of the episode, but it's still, you can tell that he's not crazy about her, and he doesn't really want to be doing this.
Yeah, he's very guarded still. He's still very, very guarded. He won't give her a weapon. She asks multiple times in this episode for one, and it's constantly just shut down, Yeah, he's very guarded, but you're gonna be, aren't you? Because he just doesn't know what's going on. He's just really defensive.
Yeah. So they're I think it said they're 10 miles away from, was it Boston? Was it? I think it was Boston. And so they're basically hiking through here, and they come to I guess like a little general store, or I guess maybe it was a gas station. It was all, weeded up and everything. And so he stops there because he tells Ellie that he had stored some items here. So he's obviously been here before, and, kind of getting the idea that where they're going, he's already been there, which we do find out that's true. So I thought this was a pretty cool little scene. And again, I don't think this is in the game at all. And if it is, I haven't got to it, but unless it happens later in the game, I guess. But she goes kind of like, hunting around her for her own stuff. And he's like, well, it's already been ransacked. There's nothing left. And he's funny because he can't even remember where he hid the item.
Yeah, it was years ago, wasn't it? He's looking under this, and it's not there. And
yeah, but she kind of goes off, and she finds like this little trap door or whatever. And I was like, first, I'm like, dude, don't even tell me you're jumping down there. I'm like, how are you gonna get back up? But there happened to be a perfectly planted garbage can, and it does make me feel like maybe somebody else has already been down there, and they put the can there on purpose to get back up, because I don't know how you're getting back up. There's no ladder. And we hear a little clicking noise, and she turns, and there's a infected. Yeah, there's an infected. He's kind of like buried under all these rocks, and like who knows how long that poor soul's been there. And it's like I almost felt bad for him, you know. And so he walks over, and she like kind of cuts his forehead just to kind of see what's in there.
She's a weirdo. She's a creepy weirdo.
But it's so weird. Like she cuts it, and it's just like you don't even know.
Cotton.
Yeah, you don't even know what you're looking at. You can tell it's just like the whole fungus thing that takes over your entire body.
It's like the inside membrane of a plant. You know, if you have a plant potted and you take it out and you look underneath the soil, you'll see all of the like what looks like cobwebs, but it's not. I think that's what it is. It's like the membrane of the plant. But like, I like how he was explaining to her. Like she asked him questions, didn't she? She was like, "Oh, it was a monkey, wasn't it? It was a monkey."
Yeah.
And he reflects back to her that actually it wasn't. It was the stuff in the food grains. It was the stuff in the flours and in the sugars and stuff like that. And it was sent all around the world. And he explains to her how it got into the pancakes. Because if you remember in the first episode, he turns down the pancakes.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to eat them, you know. And it's all playing back. It's all playing back, and it's really, really cool. And again, I like how they've just subtle lines. Like she mentioned how a government can't control a pandemic. Like what have we just been through as a country and as a nation and as a planet, you know? And it's just really, really apropos and very well done and very well softly touched on very serious matters that are happening in real life.
Yeah, and I'm glad they gave us a little more information about how this whole thing started. And obviously, he says that he's not what, you know, no one really probably knows. I mean, I'm sure there probably was somebody at some point, but through the recall of all that pancake mix and all those and the flours and all that kind of stuff. So it is kind of cool. So you don't know. Like, I mean, it seems like it probably was several different people getting infected, not just like, you know, patient zero or whatever. So, But yeah, again, just more of that, because I like the past scenes just as much as these scenes here.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so she finds some lady items that she would probably end up needing, and then after that we kind of jump forward a little bit, and we get some scenes from the past with a bunch of people, and this is where we kind of meet Bill, and you can kind of just see like everyone's kind of leaving the area. He's like, I'm staying here, and we see him go through a whole process over years of building up this huge fence and just setting up all these booby traps, and the one, you know, we see on camera with the one infected is walking, and there's a trip line, there's a gun right there. That was pretty cool. He makes a comment. He goes, "Yeah, that never gets old," which I thought that was pretty funny. I'm like, dude, that's a nice.
I was laughing at the part when he first comes out from under the basement, and he comes out the door with his guns, and he's got his things strapped around him and stuff. And it was when he first comes out of the house, and I just thought, this would be cool. Like my whole town was evacuated, and I'm just here on my own.
Yeah.
You know, basically turned my town into my town.
PBX has a question. So he says, do you guys think that she killed him? There was going to be another horde coming. So I think he's talking about the guy in the basement, or whatever.
When she killed the basement zombie.
So when he killed that zombie or the infected, where more people going to come? That's a good question. I guess I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, because they're all connected.
Yeah, because we definitely saw that last episode. I guess I wasn't really thinking of that. But now that you bring up a good point, yeah, I wonder. I mean, unless he's just so far off the path of anybody else, you know, because we really didn't see too many infected in this episode, anyways. So it could just be for some reason it's a you know, I don't know, just an area further away from, you know, any of where the infected are. I don't know.
Well, 10 miles out, aren't they? So if they were in Boston last week, and if they're 10 miles out,
yeah, and it's just, you know, it's less infected out that way, I guess. But yeah, that's a good question. So, So they take off, and then we kind of come to the future a little bit, or the past, I should say, and they give us another glimpse of this town. We have like all these recordings going on. He's recording everything, and like I said, then we kind of see a lot of the townspeople leave and with the army. And yeah, then we kind of get the Bill and Frank story. So what do you want to talk about first? You want to talk about Bill? Let's talk about Bill. So he stays put in his house, and he decides that he's just going to ride it out. He builds structures around everything to kind of protect himself. And then we talked about the booby traps a little bit. And one day, and they show his daily life. He cooks food. He's got like a small little garden growing. He's got some food. And then one day he goes out, and because he gets an alert that someone fell in the his little pit. And lo and behold, it's Frank we meet. And Frank said he was in a group of 10, and we find out he's not a very good liar. And he somehow, I thought this was a little strange. He lets him out, which is fine. He shows that like he wasn't bit. He did the test. That's right. He put
the thing on his neck. For
some reason, he was able to get one of those. He finds out he's not infected, and he allows him to come in. Like, basically, I thought that was a little shocking. I'm like, dude, you got this guy, you don't know who it is. You already caught him lying a couple times, and then he's like, yeah, come on in. So unless it's just out of pure boredom because he's been by himself for so many years, I don't know. What would you do? What would you have done? I don't know.
It's hard. I don't know. I think he should have stood his ground and probably said, I'll give you some food. Stay in the hole. I'll go and get you a bag. I'll give you some food and you can go on your way. You said you haven't eaten in 2 days. I don't need to cook you a whole meal.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a little strange. I thought that he just like let him in that. I mean, they show him as being such a guarded person, and then
he's got his head screwed on because he knew instantly how to set up all this stuff.
Yeah.
Instantly, as soon as the whole town was empty, he knew what he needed to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
killed him, said PDX. Okay. Headshot for the win. Haha.
But yeah, I mean, so he lets him in and he feeds them, and then they start having a relationship that first day. And again, it could just be that, it's been so many years and they have never, at least Bill, we don't really know too much of Frank's backstory. We just, of what he told us, that he was in a group of 10, and now he's by himself. So I don't even know if that was true. Maybe he said that too, just to kind of like make sure that,
So did you catch all the signs? Where did you see the relationship blossom first? Or start to have anything shown on screen? Was it the first kiss?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, because then
I think he wanted to go in that shower room with him when he was talking to. I think he wanted to go in that. He hesitated. I think he wanted to go in when he was having a shower.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's funny. I thought he was going to like open the door up a little bit and to like make sure he could hear him. But I see what you're saying. Yeah, there was definitely something going on. Because
So I don't think it was.
You think it was before the kiss, and he's like.
Yeah, I think it was Bill who had those notions first.
Yeah. And PDX says, I really thought he was going to kill him. And we're talking about Frank. He's going to kill Bill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely thought something was going to happen. I did not expect what happened, at all with them developing a relationship. And then all of a sudden you got 3 years later, they're almost having like a little quarrel outside. Just about a couple different things, and I'm like, okay, so I guess this is like a relationship here. And like I said, it's in the, I know I skipped a couple things here, but I know we had the piano scene I thought was really cool. You had mentioned that the name of the song was the actual name of the episode. What was that again?
So the episode takes its title from the Linda Ronstadt song of the same name, which Bill and Frank play on the piano, and the episode name this week is Long, Long Time. And that's also the same actress, same musician lady that you can hear playing in the car at the end of the episode.
Oh, at the end of that episode.
It's the same.
That they're driving away.
Yeah, when they're driving away and he says, stop, I like this person. Yeah. It's the same person that did the music for the piano.
And then
Linda Rodstrat.
Yeah. So after that, we kind of do a little time jump, and we can see that they get there's an attack late at night. There's like an attack on them, and I don't know if I might not be going in exact order. I'm kind of going through the episode as I'm doing this, but I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anything.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it looks like I did skip a couple things. But at one point they are arguing about how they don't have friends, and Frank is he's very persistent and like, well, yeah, people are going to come by at some point, and we need to befriend them, just like you befriended me. And Bill's like, yeah, no, no one's coming over here. And then eventually we get to see Joel and Tess show up, and they're having a dinner. And again, Bill has that gun right by his side the whole time, and he's like, he just doesn't trust them. And they kind of have a conversation about how they both have communities. They have some stuff that they don't, and vice versa, and they can work out some kind of trade route. Kind of reminded me a little bit of Walking Dead there, to a point. I
was literally about to say, I wish what they would put in this show was a reference in The Walking Dead, like when he came out and said, "We need to befriend these people." I wish he would have said to him, "Dude, you watched The Walking Dead. That didn't end well."
Yeah,
it would have made it perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, I completely get what you're saying. Like, they start with 2, or Walking Dead starts with like 1, and then by the end of it, there's 5 different factions, and
yeah. So I mean, but you think? I mean, I guess that's what you would do. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
would you build a community, or would you just keep safe to yourself?
I don't know. I mean,
you can all come and find me on my island because none of you are getting on it.
That's right. Island, you're probably pretty safe. Unless one person. Well, I don't know how. See, don't they make those Island Walking Dead movies, like Island of the Dead and stuff? Like, who's blowing it for the team? Like someone left and got infected. Like someone's blowing it.
It's usually the blonde girl that gets killed first. So as long as they don't take a blonde, I'm fine.
Oh my gosh. So then we have. So they eat dinner with Joe and them, and then they take off, and we get a nice little scene where Frank had planted. He said he traded a gun, and you can tell Bill right up there. He was like a little hesitant, and like what you traded
what gun?
Guns? Yeah, like what gun? It's like a small gun. So they traded that kind of stuff, and they ended up getting some seeds to make a garden, so that they share a strawberry, or they both have a strawberry, and and they start making out, and they're like, oh yeah, so let's not smash all the vegetables. So that was kind of fun.
Yeah, they made some nice strawberries. They did look really good, and the light that was shining from behind was amazing. Yeah. It definitely added a lot to the scene. And yeah, and I'm not sure if it was Bill. Is it? Let me get the names. I'm so bad with names.
Frank's the one who came to the area. Bill's the one.
Yeah. So like Bill, those strawberries kind of did something to him, didn't they? Because he really wanted to get it on right there and then. and Frank's like, no, not on the strawberries, dude.
That's right. Don't waste them.
Mm-hmm. It was a very well told love story, to be honest.
Oh yeah, it was great. I mean, it was really, really good. And then I don't know if it's that night or whatever, but it's one of the next evenings or whatever. And again, Frank had made reference to this earlier in the episode, saying that eventually rioters are going to come and find your area, and they're going to come.
Joel said too, didn't he?
Or is that what Joel said that? Okay.
Yeah, Joel said to him that eventually they'll come, and they'll come in the night, and they'll come armed.
Yep, and they're gonna, they'll get through all your traps and stuff, and they're gonna end up, taking everything. And I think that was another reason why he did that, is because that's why he wanted both communities to kind of try to work together. But so we do see rioters come, and some of the traps do work, and we see Frank wake up, and he, off these big explosions and stuff outside, like big fire explosions. And it was pretty cool because like one of the traps was literally like spraying like fire at these guys.
It was a flamethrower. The guy got set on fire. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was really well done.
And then the spinning spark things. I was like, dude, this is crazy.
I know. I mean, they show. I mean, they do spend some time. You see him chopping down trees for reasons that he uses that. They show him going to the power plant, probably to make sure.
He's been doing it for 10 years.
Right, but they show some things like that, so he's very knowledgeable on all this kind of stuff. So it makes sense why maybe he still has electricity, why he still has water running. So at least they kind of explain some of that. I don't how realistic it is. I don't know. I don't work at a power plant, so I don't really know. But so Frank wakes up and heads downstairs, and he doesn't know where Bill is, and all of a sudden we start hearing a bunch of gunshots. So he kind of creeps out into the street, and he sees that that Bill is basically just firing at these guys with his rifle. And what happens is Bill gets shot like right on the side, and so Frank takes him back inside. And dude, I thought he was dead. I thought right there. And
because he was talking, wasn't he? He was like, "There's a list. Make sure you know what to do." And I thought that was Kill Bill Volume 4.
Yeah, I thought he was gone, and I was like, okay, so they're going to switch this up because, again, in the game, Bill is alive when you meet him with Joel, and I thought for sure that he was gone. I thought, okay, they're going to switch it up a little bit. Maybe Frank will be alive later. But after all that, we flash, gosh, what is it, like a decade? It's almost like 10 years goes by, and we find out that he is still alive, and they're both alive, and Frank actually is not looking great. He's in a wheelchair. He's not able to like really take care of himself. And what was your thought right away there?
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on. I was like, okay, I expected it to be the other way around when I saw the wheelchair. Right. I was like, oh, that's a bit different. They've changed it. So yeah, I didn't know what was going on. I assumed he was just old age.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
I mean, to play it off like it was probably cancer or something. Which I kind of thought that's what I was kind of thinking when they, like when they were showing him how weak he was to stand up and stuff. And he was like really, white and stuff. And obviously there's no medicine, even though they said they do mention that he's taking some kind of pills. I don't know. But yeah, it was kind of hard to see because, Frank was like, he was like the stronger one, before this all happened. And yeah, so it was a little sad to see it, honestly.
Yeah, if you got upset by Disney's Up, don't watch this, because this is HBO's brutal version of it.
Yeah,
it was sad.
It was sad. And they they go through a couple days, whatever, and then one night they go to bed, and in the morning, Bill wakes up, and Frank is no longer in the bed. He has. In his words, he has spent quite a few hours during the night getting out of bed and trying to make it to his wheelchair. And he's basically just staring there. Now, I'll be honest with you. For some reason, I thought he was going to be a zombie right there. I thought he had, I don't know how or why, but I thought for sure, that's why I was thinking. Like the way they were filming it and they were shooting it, it's the way he rose over. He's just kind of like sitting there like this. And I was like, oh, did he somehow get turned or whatever? But we find out that's not what happened. He basically sat there all night and contemplated what he wanted to do with his life. And he tells Bill that he wants him to he basically wants to commit suicide because the medicine is not really working, and every day lately has been miserable. And obviously, Bill's very upset about this news. And after they kind of go through I guess Frank kind of tells him what he wants his last day to be like, and he goes through and is like, oh, we want to go to the boutique because they had refixed a couple of the stores and stuff in the town. So we'll go to the boutique and we can pick out something, and then we can get married and so on and so forth. So after some time, Bill finally, I think he realizes that it's probably the right thing to do, even though he doesn't want to lose his friend and his lover. But you could tell the dude's miserable.
So it was this assisted suicide. I'd say mostly he asked him if he'd help him, go peacefully, I suppose. Which is always, I wouldn't want to wish that on anybody, but it must be such a hard thing to go through when you
Mhm.
spend so long with somebody.
Yeah,
It was
hard to
really,
watch.
really hard hitting. Yeah, it was hard hitting.
Yeah. So they go through their day and they get married and they get dressed up, and Bill, he cooks them a really nice dinner, and there's a couple like little scenes there that from things that had happened for the first time that he served, like making sure his meat is in front of him, and just a couple things like that. But now instead of sitting across from the tables like they did when they first met, now they're sitting right next to each other. And so yeah, they eat. They have a bottle of wine. And Frank had mentioned that he wanted him to take all the rest of the pills that he's been taking and just mash them up and put them in his wine. So up to this point, we haven't seen him do that. They're just drinking a bottle of wine. And no pills or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So he brings out another bottle of wine, and then we see that he has indeed crushed the pills, and they're dumps it in the wine, swirls it around and everything, and Frank goes. He makes a comment like, "Are you sure? Are you sure that's enough?" And Bill assures her then that is enough, and it's hard to watch because he downs it right away. Like he at least he knew what he wanted, and he didn't hesitate. I mean, and did you think he had any hesitation on this?
No, I do. It's
He just
always his
downed
plan
it.
from the start. Yeah,
Yeah.
he wanted to go peacefully. He didn't want to go to whatever it was that he was asphyxiated with. I don't think. Yeah, it was like I say, it's very hard to even to talk about these kind of situations and stuff. But that's why we're here to do these challenging shows, the things that divide people and the people that give people a reason to want to come and listen to what people have got to say about these things. Because
Yeah.
it's terrible. It's it's terrible. But then on the other hand, it's very, very good storytelling.
Yeah. And like we mentioned earlier, I mean, they just did such a good job making you care for two characters that you literally only really know for about 50 minutes. I mean, it's kind of crazy. And
Dude,
that's
they made me care about a skeleton on the floor,
yeah,
a pile of
yeah,
skeletons. I didn't. That was just skeletons, but I cared about those people because of the story that it was connected to it.
mhm.
They're just brilliant at it.
So to finish this off here, they bring the second bottle of wine, and he puts the pills in there, he downs it, and then Frank says, because I think he knew, because he knew, he knew how many pills he had left, and there's not a ton in that little baggie that he uses,
Hmm.
and he goes, "Let me guess, there are other pills in the first bottle of wine," and Bill goes, "Yes, enough to kill a horse." So that means that Bill ended up drinking it as well because he did not want to live by himself. And it's very Romeo and Juliet-esque, I guess.
Yep, very,
And
very apropos. Very well said.
so they decided to go up to bed, and that is basically the last time we see them. Then we kind of cut back to Joel and Ellie, and they make their way into the gate, and Joel knows the code because obviously they've been probably back and forth several different times over the years. And we
Hmm.
get to see them come into the house, and he's calling for their names. You can see candles that were burned all the way down, wax is all over the desk or whatever. The food, they walk by the dining room, and there's flies around the food that they had eaten. So Joe knows something's going on, and he goes upstairs to kind of check on the bedroom and all that. And Ellie's just kind of walking around, and she finds a letter that was addressed to what did exactly it say? It said to whoever finds this, or most likely Joe, something
Yeah,
like something like that. And so Ellie ends up reading it, and it's basically a suicide note. And so it's kind of confirmed now what had happened. And in the note, it does say something like, "Do not enter the bedroom." We what did it say? We unrolled or opened the window or something like that, so it wouldn't stink. Yeah.
yeah.
So we never actually get to see the bodies. Joel honors the wish that he doesn't go in there, right?
No, I don't believe so. I wanted to see him go in and kill them or see if they were zombies or something.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, though. If they were zombies, that they probably would have made noise and probably would have came when they heard them. So, again, in the video game, you can catch it through spores in the air where, in this universe, you don't. And it's not like a zombie because even when you die, it doesn't matter if you die through or, you get bit or if you just die, you still become the zombie because I guess it's all in the air still and in the water and all that kind of stuff. I think that's the reasoning behind that, like in The Walking Dead.
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely. But yeah. Ellie gets a psycho. She goes all happy crazy when she finds out that this dude had loads of guns.
Yeah. She's like, "Guy, just take some of these," and he's like, he's still very hesitant on that.
So what would you do? Would you give her one? Would you give her a gun if you were Joel?
Yeah, at this point, I mean, yeah. I mean, you spent hours and hours at this point probably with her. I mean, just walking around because I mean, at one point he does say that they have like a 5-hour hike to get to go where they're going. I mean, that's 5 hours, but based on all the other time they spent with each other, and yeah, I think at that point when you find all of those guns, like why would you not? I mean, more help the better. I mean, I don't know why he would still think that she would be trying to harm him. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. So
give her a gun with no bullets, and then give her a bullet every day that she behaves.
There you go. Right. Give her. And
she has to fire that bullet every night before midnight, and then she gets the next one in the morning.
Just like that kid in what movie was that? Was that Tremors?
Probably.
When they gave that kid, he wants a gun the whole time, and he gives him a gun, and he starts trying to shoot at the worms or whatever, and he's like, "There are no bullets in here." That's a good movie right there, right?
Hey, Funko Illuminati.
But yeah. So then we do see Ellie. She goes over to the piano and she opens up a couple things, and she does end up finding a pistol. And she puts that in her backpack.
She hides it.
Yeah, without Joe even knowing. And then basically the episode ends with them going into the garage. They charge up the battery of the car. He makes a comment that it's a Chevy S10, and it's because this is the first time Ellie's ever been in a car, and so she starts playing around with everything, and she makes a comment saying that she thinks it's a spaceship. And he's like, "No, this is a Chevy S10. It's not. It's not."
Yeah.
And I want to go ahead.
I want to put the same question to you now that you just saw Ellie do what she did with the gun.
Yeah.
She hid it. Would you still, knowing that now, would you still give her a gun, even though she hid it from you? Because she's kind of betrayed you a little bit by hiding it.
Yeah, but I get the safety factor of it. She wants to be safe as well. That's a good question.
Being safe together is the more important thing. You can have my back and I've got your back, but if I've got your back and I don't know you've got my back because you haven't got a weapon that I know of.
Yeah. It's hard. It's a hard question because if I'm her, I'd do the same thing because he's being so adamant about not letting me have something. So being 14 years old, I would do the same thing in a heartbeat.
So me at 14, I would have stood my ground and said, "I'm having a gun, or I'm not stepping another step forward, and you won't get your battery. You won't deliver me. Yeah. I will not move."
Yeah.
And they'll give me a gun.
Yeah, it is curious that he, even at that point when they found all those weapons, that he still was very no.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, have we seen her with a gun? We haven't seen her with any weapon yet. I mean, we know she can kind of fight a little bit, even though she did get bit.
She's completely alienated to the outside world. Like, look when she saw the plane.
Yeah.
She was like, You've been on one of those? And she makes that funny line like, "Dude, you've been in the sky." And I'm thinking, no, he's been in space actually, but that's a different guy. But yeah, she's very locked out from the normal world.
Yeah, that plane scene was pretty cool too. We kind of skipped over that. As they're walking, they see a plane that had crashed, and it was like in different sections. And
she was talking about how the world fell in one day. The world fell in one day.
Because remember, I was 2014, so she was born during the apocalypse. Now, here's my question: we said we do know, we found out from last episode that she is a orphan, so she doesn't know who her parents are. Without giving too many spoilers alerts, do we ever find that out?
I don't think so, but I could be completely wrong.
And they may change it. Who knows? Down the road. What's up, Croaking Toad? Like any other 14-year-old, she wants what she's told she can't have, right? Yeah. So she takes advantage of the opportunity. Yeah, it's more. That's a good point.
Not really a betrayal, more of a defiance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for clearing that up, Croaking.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, more of a defiance.
Yeah, and then basically they kind of take off, and I think he at the end of the episode, like we had talked about the beginning, I do feel like he is more comfortable with her. Maybe I think there is a trust developing. Which is actually unfortunate that she did take the gun, because eventually he's gonna know, he's gonna find this out, so we'll see how that plays out. But you can tell, like, he's now like, okay, I'm gonna get you to safety. I'm like, we're gonna get the battery. We're gonna try to find my brother. It almost seems like that is his priority first, though. It sounds like to me he wants to go find his brother before he takes her to whatever, or doesn't he even makes a comment saying that he wants to find his brother, and then he'll get her to the right people to take her where she needs to go, or something. He says something like that.
Yeah, I believe so. And Croaking Toad says in the chat, he's 3 teens, all girls. This is normal behaviour for an angsty teen girl. I've no kids whatsoever, so yeah, I can completely understand. Well, I can't, but I don't.
Yeah, I have 2 boys, so the girl thing, I don't know. Good luck with that.
No thanks. I'll stick to my dragons.
Yes. So I don't know. What do you think? I think the first 2 episodes we both gave a 10 out of 10, and I've already kind of spoiled what I gave this episode. I gave it a 10 out of 10 again because
I can't bring it down anyway. It's 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it still engrossed me in the episode. It engrossed me in this whole world, and it gave us 2 characters, unfortunately, that we're only going to see for the 1 episode. But again, if this is the kind of storytelling that we're looking forward to for the next 6 episodes, there's nowhere. It's going to be awesome. I'm so excited for next week already. And I did watch the little trailer they had, and it looks like there's going to be a little more action than this episode. And so I'm looking forward to it, man. Hell
yeah, I am too. This is my Sunday night spots are back. I love seeing the opening credits of HBO. It's always a joyful thing to see on a Sunday evening, and I am all in for this ride. Like, this is amazing, and watching you play the game each week is only giving me more enjoyment through the story, because you're progressing through it for your first time and experiencing it all, and you're matching it up with what we're seeing. So I definitely can't wait for your next live stream to check out where you get up to.
Yeah, I'll be streaming that again probably on Wednesday evening. Usually I go on after a beer or pop, so usually that's around 10 o'clock or so.
Cool.
He gave it a 9 out of 10, but only because I'm a gamer and I was hoping to see a bloater. I think we'll see one eventually.
You said backstage, didn't you, that you were a bit disappointed that you didn't get to see the water raft.
Yeah. Yeah, like when they're headed there in the game, they're on that, like they're in the sewers or something, or
the subway.
The subway got flooded, and he's swimming around. Like, I was like, I wanted to see that. I wanted to see it pay off with her comment about her not knowing how to swim, and I wanted to see her like on the little piece of wood, and he like floats around over to the other side. So yeah, but again, I know that happens later in the game as well. So maybe we'll get that scene still. I think that'd be kind of a cool scene, though.
Yeah, and I definitely think we will see a bloater on TV.
I think we'll see all of them. eventually. Yeah, I mean, you know. But all right, I don't know. Do you have anything else? Chat, let us know we got 6 people in there right now. Let us know what you gave this episode before we close out of here. So we'll be back next Sunday, doing episode 4 of Raven Reviews. It'll be our 3rd episode under this brand, and let's see, PDX has said something that line was in episode 2.
Yeah, that she couldn't swim. Yeah, she said the line she couldn't swim, but we wanted to see the actual payoff.
Yeah, because in the game, after that whole thing happens with Tess, you kind of go ahead and go. They go to the sewers or whatever, and then they go ahead and he goes under the water and he gets her across. Again, they cut a lot of that out. He basically just they kind of just show them walking and they don't do any of that other stuff. So, let's see. What's the name of the song at the end? Raider X.
I'm not sure the name of the song at the end. I know that the name of the episode was taken from a song called the same name, which was A Long, Long Time. And it was done by Linda Ronstadt, Ronddstadt.
Okay. Is that the same song that played at the end, though?
I'm not sure, but I know you might be able to find it, because I know that the person at the end, it was the same name person, so I'm not 100% sure on the song at the end.
So this is when they're driving away in the truck, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if I can pull that up really quick. It's probably right about here.
You're welcome, Rita.
I'll play it for like 5 seconds. I don't want to get copyrighted on it. Let's see if I can.
Yeah, but if you play it for 5 seconds and somebody holds their phone up to the screen and it says, "Hey Google, what's this song?" It might pick it up. So.
Yeah, here I'll play it. Let's share the screen here really quick.
Don't forget to hit the like button, guys, if you enjoyed the stream tonight. We're live every Sunday, Monday on our collective channels, and we're live on Raven Reviews every Sunday, straight after The Last of Us.
Let's see if we can get away with it. Let's see if we can hear this. I do know the song. What was it? Wait for the day. Because I can just look this up. Wait for the day. Something. What do you say? What did you say? Shoot. I think I skipped it. I missed it again.
Her shirt is in the game too.
This is Linda Ronstadt. You know who Linda Ronstadt is?
Linda Ronstadt.
Yeah, it's Linda Ronstadt, Long, Long Time. It's the same song. When I type in the lyrics, Wait for the Day, it's the same song.
Yeah. So it's the same song. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, in PDX, you're right. When she changes, I noticed that it was the same one from the game. That was pretty cool.
It is a beautiful songwriter. I agree.
Yeah.
They don't make music like they used to.
But
sure. HBO still make TV shows better than they ever did. So, stay on board, guys. Become a Raven yourself by subscribing to the channel. Headless Ned Stark, Ryan Milky 14, and enjoy the ride because we're literally just starting.
Yep. Yeah, we'll be back next week. I'm not sure. I have to look. Usually we go about 15 minutes after the episode is finished. So I have to look and see because the episodes are not all the same length. Like this one was definitely longer than last week. So usually about 15 minutes after the episode. So I'll look at the during the week. I'll look at the actual run time for the next episode, and then I'll put that up on the stream. But yeah, tomorrow we'll be on Ryan's channel. You can find both these links in the description as well. We'll be talking about A New Hope. We are we are actually doing Star Wars reviews at our regular times, which are 7 p.m. on Sundays and Mondays. Sundays are with me, and then Ryan takes the lead on Mondays. And we are breaking down every Star Wars movie in order, in chronological order. And today we did Rogue One. You can go back and check it out if you're unable to watch it. And tomorrow we are doing A New Hope. And that will be at 7 p.m. Eastern on Ryan's channel. So, yeah, connect to both of us. And then, that's basically going to lead us up to Mandalorian, where we'll be doing instant reaction reviews on Wednesdays then, is Raven Reviews. So we're all over that. We're all over YouTube.
And we're not just movies and TV stuff, guys. We're Lego, we're Kahoot games, we're Jackbox games, we're Headless plays PlayStation Online. He plays all sorts of games. I have another group called The Horsemen that I hang out with every Tuesday night, where we talk Funko kind of stuffs and NFT stuff. And yeah, we're literally, there's a bit of us for anyone. So definitely subscribe and hang around, because I'm sure there'll be some sort of content that you guys will enjoy.
Yeah. All right, Raider, we appreciate it, man. All right. Well, I think we're done with today's live. Again, thanks everybody for stopping in for a few minutes and hanging out. And we will be back with Raven Reviews next Sunday. All right. For Mr. Ryan Milky, I am Headless, that's Stark. We are Raven Reviews. And we're still working on a finalization of the video, but
let us know if we should keep the crow noise, because I enjoy it.
All right,
thank you guys.
See you later.
Have
a good night.